Hare Krishna. So if you are all available, then we can start this. Am I audible properly?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Mataji,
Mataji,
Pranam.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. So welcome to everyone in
Krishna
this
Mataji, Dandavat.
Jagannath Katamrita series. So we are going to discuss the glories of Jagannath Puri and also Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai, advent of the deities, and then installation about King Indradumna, and many things about Gundicha, and so many other things. Within the 4 sessions, we are going to cover in the 4 sessions. Today, one session, tomorrow, another session, and next Saturday, Sunday, 2 sessions. Okay, so my name is Kumari Daya Devidasi. I'm very grateful to Prabhuji ICF community for allowing me a chance to glorify Jagannath before going for this auspicious Rath Yatra festival. So let us start without wasting the time. So let me just offer prayers, then I will start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So as you all know that every kshetra, like even Jagannath Puri is also one of the holiest place, right? So every kshetra has been described in the Puranas. So in our Puranas and in scripture somewhere the glories of these holy dhams has been described. So about the Purushottam Kshetra, it is been described in Skanda Purana. So there's a detailed description of this holy place. There's a Khand called Vaishnava Khand. In that there is one chapter describing the glories of Purushottam Kshetra. So how does it start is there? It starts with the with the assembling of many sages, just like in Kurukshetra, the sages have come and assembled in the forest. Like that, in one of the forests, there are so many sages who have gathered and they have assembled there. And there, the Jaimini Rishi at that point of time, when these sages come together and start discussing the spiritual discourses there. So when they are discussing the spiritual discourses, the Jaimini Rishi comes over there, and when the Jaimini Rishi comes, and all these sages request him to speak about the glories of the Supreme Lord. So while describing the glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Jaimini Rishi talks about this Purushottam Kshetra. So we all know that we have 14 planetary systems, right? Where does this Purushottam Kshetra is situated? So it is said that within this 14 planetary systems, the Purushottam Kshetra is situated in Bhuloka. It's in the earthly realm. Okay. So it is on the 7th from the top of the 14, in the middle planetary system, it is situated. So the Jaimini Rishi says that this place is the Mahatmya, the glory of this place is just that, just by desiring to go to that place, the living beings, if you just desire, just by the desire, all the sins accumulated from many lifetimes has been destroyed. So it gets destroyed just by desiring to go to the Purushottam Kshetra. So then you can imagine when you all are personally visiting that place, what would be the effect on us? We may not know physically what is happening, and we may not see it physically, but there is always, like, whenever we visit the dham, there is always some transcendental thing, something that happens, that there is always a spiritual enlivening that happens in our life. This is all the effect of the some of the sins, whatever the sins, according to the degree of our consciousness in the dham, according to the degree of our surrender in the dham, the we burn our sins when we visit these holy places. Okay, so now the Jaimini Rishi starts explaining that he talks about first we all know that that when the universe is created, the primary creation of the universe, that is called Sarga, which comes from the pores of the Kshirodakshay Vishnu, from Mahavishnu, when he is sleeping. So when he is in Yoga Nidra, the many universes will take birth, and will come from the pores of his the body. So in those universe, and like if you take one universe, in that one universe, the Lord expands himself as Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and from his navel, the Brahmaji comes up. From the lotus flower sprouts, and from there the Brahma comes. Right? So we all know this, right? So after the Brahma is born, the first Sarga is created by the Mahavishnu. And when the Brahma is gone, he gets the knowledge, he does the tapasya. And then once he gets the knowledge on how the secondary creation has to be, has to be done, then he does the secondary creation. And he facilitates in such a way that all living entities can come and reside in that universe. Okay, so when the Brahma receives this knowledge, this intelligence on how to create the secondary creation, he, being a Trikala Jnani, he could also able to see the living entities in the future, like future yugas also. So it happens in the Satya Yuga, but like before the Satya Yuga, but before the 4 yugas, that he also has the knowledge. The Brahma has the knowledge of all the yugas. So he also anticipates the living entities, how the living entities are going to be in the future. So when he sees that in the age of Kali, the living entities are going to suffer from threefold miseries, and they're going to go through a very painful situation. So see, and they are bereft of spiritual knowledge. Seeing all these things, that he becomes worried. So Brahma becomes very morose, and he becomes very compassionate towards those living entities, and then he starts praying to Lord Vishnu for those conditioned souls. So then the Lord appears in front of Brahma, and he says that he is going to take birth in an abode called Purushotam Shet on an earthly planet. And those who take birth in that place, they will never suffer any kind of threefold miseries. And at the end of their life, they actually reach my abode. This is what the Lord says. So when Brahma hears this, he becomes very happy. So the Brahma wanted to go to the Purushotam Kshetra. Then he goes to that Purushotam Kshetra, and he becomes very mesmerized by the beauty of that place. It's so calm and serene, and from the far he could see that there is a very big banyan tree, Kalpataru, which is spread around to 2 yojanas. And just beside that Kalpavriksha, there is a kund called Rohini Kund. And there he is gazing at the beauty of, while he was gazing at the beauty of that serene place, he saw that a crow comes to that kund, and he drinks the water from the kund. And as soon as the crow drinks the water, the crow takes transforms into 400 transcendental, he gets the 400 transcendental form, and he goes to the Vaikuntha abode. So the Brahma becomes very surprised. At that point of time, even Yamaraj descends over there. So when Yamaraj comes, and Yamaraj also becomes very surprised seeing that, usually what happens when a living entity is in a crow, I mean, which kind of living entity takes birth in the form of a crow? Those who are very filthy and those who have very low consciousness in their previous birth. So they take the form of a crow. And such people to get elevated to the abode of the Lord, it takes a long time for them. They have to go to many cycles of birth and death. But there was no such thing that has happened for the crow. So he becomes like, he also becomes very surprised, Yamaraj. And then at that point of time, they see there's in between these two, the Kund and Kalpa Vriksha, there is a narrow passage where there is one stage, there's a built, uh, mm, what do you call, like one asan. There's a beautiful asan over there, and on the top of that asan, there's a 400 form Neel Madhav. The Supreme Lord in the form of Neel Madhav is residing over there along with the Lakshmi Devi. So seeing that, they go and take darshan of Neel Madhav, who is beautifully effulgent, and then they pay obeisances to the deities, and then Yamaraj asks the Lakshmi Devi, how is this miracle happening? How does this crow can, without undergoing any cycle of birth and death, he directly went into the abode of the Lord Vaikuntha. So the Lakshmi Devi, then she starts explaining the glories of this place to Lord Brahma and Yamaraj. She says that even Lord Brahma is unaware of the glories of this kshetra. So I'm going to explain. So she starts narrating the glories of this place. So then she says that there used to be a Markandeshwar Rishi, and he had done a very severe penance for a very long time. And the Lord becomes very pleased with his austerities, and he appears before him. When the Lord appears, Markandeshwar Rishi, he asks for a boon that he wants to survive for 7 kalpas. Means just like Mrityunjay, we know that Ashwadham is also, he is a Mrityunjay. Like that, he also asks, Markandeshwar Rishi asks that, he wants to be a Mrityunjay, just like Hanumanji, this Ashwadhama, like that. He wants to survive for 7 kalpas. So 1 kalpa is actually equal to 1 day of Brahma. Okay, and you all know that, like us, even Lord Brahma has 12 hours of daytime and 12 hours of night time. So at the end of the day, means at the end of the 12 hours of a day for Lord Brahma, there is and when he goes to sleep, so there is a partial devastation that happens. So that is the night of the Brahma. So that partial devastation takes place the whole night of the Brahma. And 1 kalpa is made of 4 yugas. Like that, 7. So one yuga is called 1 Chaturyuga, is also like 4 yugas is called 1 Chaturyuga, and like that 71 Chaturyugas becomes 1 Manvantara. So the Markandeya Rishi was not aware that after completion of 1 day of Brahma, which is like 1 kalpa. I mean, after every 4 yugas, at the end of each kalpa, he does not know what happens to the universe. So actually, at the end of 1 kalpa, there will be a partial devastation that happens, and it starts. So the Markandeya Rishi was unaware of that, and then suddenly he sees that Earth is drowned in the water. How much, like, just like you all know that the Earth is like, it's like a ball, and it is drowned fully inside the water with very heavy, devastating rains, and clouds were so thick. Everything is so dark. It's nothing visible there, and the water is drawn till 1,000 kilometers of the Earth's land. So there's only water everywhere. He cannot see anything, and so cold. It's so cold because of the breeze that is coming because of this devastation that is happening. And then the this Markandeya Rishi is also tormented by this cold, and then waves, and he gets so much disturbed. And he wants to die, but he cannot die because he has asked for the boon to live, right? So, but he has to go through this pain. He is going through the tosses of so many ocean waves, and then he does not know. There is no place for him to stay. There's nothing. There's no ground. There's no earth. Little bit also that he is unable to see anywhere, and nothing is seen to him because it's all completely dark, and it's fully very heavy rainfall is happening. So he did not know what to do. Like that, he while has been suffering like this in this condition with the gushing waves, he comes to a place where he sees there's some land. He sees a land very far from his place, and then he sees, from that, he comes to that place, close to that place, and he sees there's a banyan tree over there, very big banyan tree. And from that banyan tree, a leaf falls from the banyan tree, and on the top of that on the leaf, there is a small boy who is sleeping. And he goes close to see the boy, and then when he sees the small boy, he is actually sleeping so peacefully on that leaf, with his right thumb, uh, in the right thumb feet, he has put, he's sucking in the mouth. Mm. So he is none other than, you all know, right? Is a Vatapatra Krishna. In the form of baby Krishna. He's just there on the leaf. So as soon as he saw the darshan of this Lord, Markandeya Rishi becomes very peaceful. And whatever agony he went through all throughout this time, he forgot about it. And there is no trace of sadness, there is no trace of grief, there is no trace of tiredness. He at once felt so peaceful by taking the darshan of the Lord. And then he sees the Lord for a long time, and he comes there, and he understands that, maybe he is a supreme personality of Godhead. While he is gazing and surprised by the undisturbed situation of the small boy, suddenly the Lord takes a long breath, like this. So as soon as he takes the breath, the whole water that is there surrounding the Markandeya Rishi, and then the whole water that is gushing over there, everything goes inside to the nose of the baby Krishna, and then it goes inside the stomach. So there, in that stomach, the Markandeya Rishi still sees what is happening over there. So he sees himself struck in that devastation, and then he's seeing the Lord also inside the stomach of the Lord. He's also seeing the Lord with in the banyan leaf again, peacefully, and he's very peaceful. And then seeing that, he is not able to understand what's happening. So after a very long time, then the Lord again takes a breath out. When he takes a breath out, even um, mm, the Markandeya Rishi comes out of it. And then again, there's some water all around. And then slowly, that is the time where the night of the Brahma is going to end. So slowly, Markandeya Rishi is he sees that the water starts receding down, and there's a sunlight that he could see. Sunlight is coming up, and everything is getting dried, and there is an earth. So everything becomes very peaceful. So then he asked the Lord, what is this? After this revelation, Rishi becomes very peaceful, and then he sees and he asks, what is this he's seeing? Then the Lord says that, this is my dham. This is a dham, or this is the dham called Purushottam Kshetra. And this is a place, even though the devastation happens in the whole universe, this place is not touched. Nothing happens at this place. And whoever takes birth in this place and whoever resides in this place, they will be freed from all the threefold miseries of this material world. And also, at the end of their life, they will not go through the cycle of birth and death. They will come back to my abode. So that is what the Lord says to him. So when he hears this, then Markandeya Rishi decides to reside there, and he wants to meditate, do his meditation. So he becomes very peaceful, and he stays there, and he starts doing his tapasya, and he starts meditating. So even the Lord Shiva comes to know about the Markandeya Rishi doing the tapasya. So then he comes over there, Lord Shiva. He wants to give his darshan to Markandeya Rishi. So he comes there at this place, and he sees that Markandeya Rishi has gone into a deep trance. So the presence of Lord Shiva was not felt. He is not able to recognize that Lord Shiva has come. So he is not aware that he has come because he has gone into a deep trance. So then what does a Lord Shiva does? He gives his darshan in the heart of Markandeya Rishi. Then immediately Markandeya Rishi um, opens his eyes, and then he sees that Lord Shiva is standing in front of him. Then he pays his obeisances. Then Lord Shiva says that he is very pleased with his austerities, and he asks him to for a boon. So then Markandeya Rishi says that I don't want anything in this world. Already I made a mistake by asking to stay for 7 kalpas. But what I need, what I want is just he narrates the whole story of this Purushottam Kshetra, what he had seen before devastation, by during the devastation, and he says that I want the darshan of that small boy remain in my heart forever. Until my lifetime. So this is what the boon the Markandeya Rishi asked the Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva gives the blessings, and Shiva also then resides there in the form of a linga. And this Markandeya Rishi starts worshipping this Shivaling, and that place is called as Markandeya Mahadev. So that Shivaling gets the name of Markandeya Mahadev, and then those who take this darshan of this Markandeya Mahadev in Purushottam Kshetra, they become free from the cycle of birth and death. So then Lakshmi Devi continues to narrate the glories of this place, and then and she says that this Purushottam Kshetra is in the form of a shank, conch. It is residing near near an ocean. There's an ocean which resides near this shank. So at the end of the shank, at the end of the shank, this ocean, the contour of this the ocean, the seabed resides over there. So then Lakshmi Devi says, because of the ocean coming in contact uh, and coming in contact with the Jagannath Puri Kshetra, and also because of the long time association of this holy place, this ocean also became a very holy river, and it is called as Mahadadi. It is considered to be the holiest of all the rivers. So this is the ocean which we know in Purushottam Kshetra, in Jagannath Puri. That ocean is called as Mahadadi, and this is the holiest of all the rivers. And then she starts narrating that, one time Lord Brahma had during the manifestation of the universe, one time Brahma had 5 faces. So, wherein from his 4 faces, the 4 Vedas are being recited. And from the 5th phase, um, from the mouth of the 5th phase, the Lord Brahma is talking Prajalpa. So, what is Prajalpa? Anybody?
Unwanted things, Mataji. Gossiping.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Anything which is not connected with the Lord. Lord Brahma is the father of all living entities. And if he himself does Prajalpa, then we also will follow, right? His descendants will also follow. So it is not correct. And Shiviji is a representative of purity. So when he comes to know that Lord Brahma is reciting something which is not connected with the Lord, which is not befitting and benefiting the living entities of this universe, Shivji becomes very angry. And he comes and with his trident, he cuts off that 5th head from the Lord Brahma. But because Brahma is a Brahmana, so Shivji gets this sin of committing a Brahmana Hatya. Okay, and also that Shivaji, that a head of the Brahma is struck to the one of the tridents. One of the three, one of the like in the to the trident of the Trishul of this Lord Shiva, and then he goes to a different holy places to get rid of that. But Lord Shiva is unable to come out of that sinful. Activity that he has, the sin that he has incurred by beheading the Brahma's head. So finally, roaming all around the world, all around the universe, he comes to this Purushotam Kshetra, and he dips that head in Rohini Kund, the trident in the Rohini Kund. As soon as he does that, the head disappears from the trident. The Brahma's head disappears from the trident, and then Shiva also becomes free from the Brahmahatya. So it is said that if we also take path in Jagannath Puri, we also get free from any sins that if we have performed any Brahmana Hatya like that. So it has that glory that it can even have the power to take away such kind of grave sins also. Okay, then Lakshmi Devi then describes that, this Shivaji who was carrying this Kapala of Lord Brahma, and it is got delivered in Jagannath Puri Kshetra. That Shiva is called Kapala Mochan Mahadev. So what happens while this universe is forming, the primary creation, secondary creation, and all these things were happening. In between, the Parvati Devi is also born. We all know that, that she is born as a Durga Devi to take care of all the living entities, right? So she has a special purpose in this universe. So she is born, and it is said that she is residing in 8 forms in the Purushotam Kshetra. So when Parvati Devi is there, obviously Shivaji also comes, because she cannot reside alone, right? Look, she has to be with Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva also expands in 8 forms in Purushotam Kshetra by these names, like Yameshwar Mahadev, Kapal Mochan Mahadev, Markandeshwar Mahadev, Bileshwar Mahadev, Bhateshwar Mahadev, Neelakanteshwar Mahadev, Ishaneshwar Mahadev, and Kshetrapal Mahadev. So these are the 8 Shivjis residing, 8 forms of Shivji's. Lord Shiva is residing in the Purushottam Kshetra. And then to assist him, the 8 forms of Parvati, Gauri, is also residing there in the form of Bhattamangala Devi, Bimala Devi, Sarvamangala Devi, Hardasani Devi, Alamba Devi, Kalaratri Devi, Marichika Devi, Chandrarupa Devi. So, the along this Purushottam Kshetra, which is in the form of Shankh, all these are all these um, forms of Lord Shiva and Parvati Devi are residing there. And also at the end of the Shankh, at the tip of the end of the Shankh, there is a nursing Dev who is residing over there. So it is said that by taking darshan of this nursing Dev, all the sins are removed. Hmm? It is also said that without taking the darshan of this nursing Dev, the Puri darshan becomes incomplete. So then Lakshmi Devi tells to Brahmaji that during the Sarochiva, we have manvantras, right? So during one of the manvantras where Sarochisha Manu is ruling, at that time of the manvantara, a king by name Indradumna will take birth. And he is very pious king. And she says that, at one point of time, he develops a desire to see the Lord face to face. And at that time, the she asked the Brahmaji to help him, to instruct him, to guide him, and direct him to perform the 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas, after which the Supreme Lord will give darshan to him, and he will also be able to establish the deities of the Supreme Lord. Okay. So by hearing this, Lord Brahma and Yamaraj becomes very, very happy. And then they both leave depart to their respective places. Then Jaimini Rishi continues. So then he starts describing about, because the forest in that, all the sages in the forest, they also become very eager and enthusiastic to know about King Indradumna. So then Jaimini Rishi starts describing about the King Indradumna. So he says this King Indradumna used to stay in Avanti Desh, which is right now it is near Ujjain. Okay, so he used to rule the world, whole universe, just like Pandavas were ruling and Parikshit Maharaja's rule. Just like that, King Indradumna was also ruling the whole entire universe at that time. So his wife name is Gundicha Devi, and is very rich and is very pious king. Is just like how Pandavas were ruling in during his reign. Also, everything was going very nice. But the Lord was not at all happy. He always hankered to serve the Lord. He always wanted to be observed in the devotional service. So he slowly lost interest in the matters of the of the material world, and then he started going more deeper and deeper into his meditation. So at one point of time, he becomes so overwhelmingly what do you call, like he becomes uh, uh, very desirous of seeing the Lord face to face. So at that point of time, he calls all the Brahmanas in his kingdom, and he asks all the Brahmanas to guide him a place where he can go and worship the Lord and see the Lord face to face. So at that point of time, in that assembly of Brahmanas, one priest, like who is also a Brahmana, he gets up and he talks about a place called Nilachal, which is Purushottam Kshetra, which is none other than Purushottam Kshetra. And he talks about Lord Nilamadav, who is residing there in the form of 400 deity, and along with Lakshmi Devi. So he also describes about the Rohini Kund, the pastime that took place in the Rohini Kund with the crow, and also he talks about the Vatavriksha, the banyan tree, and he also tells that every day the celestial beings, all the demigods, 33 crore demigods and all the celestial beings, they come every day to this place, and with different items of worship and offerings. They bring different kinds of flowers from the celestial world. They bring from those places to worship the Lord Nil Madhav, and they offer to the Nil Madhav, and then they go back. So he also says that, because of the presence of these celestial beings, the whole place is filled with very fragrant smell. So, and he also says that, if I also lived there. He says that, I personally lived there. I saw those deities. I witnessed the, different paraphernalia that is being brought by the celestial beings. And I also got a chance to take the Mahaprasad. Uh, After the offerings are done, which is left out by the demigods, he also had taken that Mahaprasad. So when the Lord starts hearing this, he becomes overwhelmed. He becomes very, very overwhelmed, and he all kinds of ecstasies starts manifesting in him. And or the hair starts standing on him, and he starts crying. His eyes are watering, gushing river. It is pouring like a gushing river, and he becomes very happy, and he becomes very curious, very eager and enthusiastic, and he doesn't want to stay even 1 minute in his kingdom. So he says, immediately he orders that, he wants to go and take darshan of that Lord immediately. So he calls for his prime minister, and then he says that, to find a place, to find this place where it is located, and he wants to go there along with his whole kingdom. So that's the magnanimity of the Lord. The Lord is not only, sorry, about the king. The king is not only thinking about himself. Actually, the king is thinking about his praja also. He wants to take all his citizens, and then along with the citizens, he wants to take the darshan of Lord Nilmadhav, and he wants to give that audience to everyone. That is how um, a pure devotee thinks of. A pure devotee always does not think that, how I can take pleasure by serving the Lord, and how can I take pleasure, give pleasure to the Lord with my abilities. No, he always thinks that, whatever I am able to, whatever mercy I am getting, everyone should get it. Everyone should see the audience, should get the audience of the Supreme Lord. So then the Prime Minister tells to the king that, he will send his brother named Vidyapati, who is also a Brahmin. He says that let him go, let him see the place, locate the place, and let him come back. And after that, we will go. So Vidyapati takes the blessings of the king, and he starts traveling towards Nilachal Dham. So after traveling several days, so he first reaches to the Shank Kshetra, where he starts experiencing divine ecstasies. So he says the place is so serene and beautiful, and then everything surrounded by him was very fragrant, and it's very rich, and it's very peaceful, and he's always getting very divine ecstasies within himself. He's experiencing all that. So then slowly he reaches the Nilachal mountain. There he takes darshan of the Rohini Kund. Actually, before all these things, there are two versions of it. Like one of the versions, there is at this Nilachal mountain. Actually, this is a there's a tribals who are living over there. It's a place of a community. There's one Shabara tribal community who lives over there, and who are taking care of this Nilachal mountain. And actually, they are taking care of Nil Madhav over there. So they are the ones who are worshipping there at that point of time. And then when he reaches there, he sees from the far that, these tribals are living over there, and he understands that in some or the other way, he understands that these are the people who are serving the Supreme Lord. Then he tells that then he meets there the chief of the Shabara. When he meets the Shabara, this chief of the Shabara, who is Vishwavasu, whose name is Vishwavasu. Yeah, Vishwavasu. So when he sees him, that he feels that like he somehow he gets the feeling that, he had seen the Lord. But Vishwavasu is he does not want to reveal the darshan of the Nil Madhav to anyone. So he doesn't say anything. but then even Vidyapati does not reveal anything, but he knows from his heart of heart that he has come with a mission to find out where this Nil Madhav is. So he actually asked the Shabara, but but Vishwavasu does not reveal. So he stays there. He starts living there, and after a few days, he even gets married to the daughter of Shabara, thinking that because he keeps observing that that whenever this Vishwavasu comes back, he goes out, and when he comes back, his whole body is filled with fragrance. So he gets a doubt. What is happening? He wants to know the secret. So to know that secret, he even gets married to the daughter, and then one day he asks the wife, what is happening with your father? Where does he go in the morning? And when he comes back, how his body is filled with the fragrance. So she reveals, out of affection for the husband, she reveals that, my father is and actually worshipping the Nil Madhav, the top of the mountain. And the celestial beings comes there, and because of that, the whole place is filled with that fragrance, and my father also gets that smell because of that. So then he asked the wife that, can I go and see the place? Then she go and ask his father, her father, whether her husband can, whether he can take the husband. But the father denies. But after persuading for the long time, then the chief of Shabara, the Vishwasu, agrees to take the Vidyapati to show him the darshan of Nil Madhav. So, but with a condition that he should be tied blindfolded. He should be blindfolded when he is going there. So, actually, Vidyapati, he tricks. He takes some mustard seeds in his bag, in a small bag, and then he ties those mustard seeds on his waist, and he goes along with Shabar, the chief of Shabara. So while traveling, he puts one. He makes a small hole, and then those seeds, the mustard seed starts falling on the ground on the way to the Nil Madhav's place. So once he reaches the Nil Madhav place, um, he was uh, he was blindfolded, right? So he has been opened. The blindfold is opened, and then when he sees that, he takes the darshan of that banyan tree, and then Rohini Kund. He goes and takes bath in the Rohini Kund, and then he goes and he takes the darshan of the Nil Madhav, and also darshan of Lakshmi Devi. So he becomes very, very, the whole place is so serene, calm, and seeing the Lord, uh, all, different symptoms of ecstatic symptoms um, of ecstasies will evolve in his body. So he starts trembling and all that. So when he is undergoing all this, he thinks that, this is the end of my life. I don't want to go back. Like he thinks that, this is this is what, nobody wants anything else beyond this. So, thinking like that, he wants to actually jump into the Rohini Kund and take his life. But uh, then he remembers that, whatever darshan he could able to take, it is because of the order of King Indradumna. So he has come to give this kind of divine darshan to Lord Indradumna, sorry, King Indradumna. So he has to be loyal. So he decides not to jump into the Rohini Kund, and then he stays there. And at that point of time, actually, his father-in-law goes out to get some paraphernalia to worship the Lord. And then he comes back, he worships the Lord, and he also gives the Mahaprasad, which has been offered by the different celestial beings, and then when he eats, uh, the the joy of Vidyapati is beyond described. It's beyond words. Like we cannot describe that. The joy that he is experiencing, the taste of Mahaprasad. So um, then what happens? Then he's again blindfolded, and he's been taken back to the house. So what happens is, after a few days, when when the Shabara, and actually um, now this Vidyapati is very eager. He wants to go back to the kingdom, and he wants to bring the king and show the darshan of Neel Madhav to him. So when this Vishwavasu, when he goes there back to worship Neel Madhav, at that point of time, now the Neel Madhav will tell that to Vishwavasu that I am bored of your offerings. I would simple offerings you are bringing and giving, that fruits and roots and all these things, but I want an opulent offering. So please arrange for that. When he hears that, actually Vishwavasu is aware that the tribal community is aware that whenever any royal king enters into that place, that area, Neel Madhav is going to disappear. So when he when he understands the desire of the Lord, he becomes overwhelmed with grief. He thinks that, oh, what is this? The Lord is now asking, maybe because I got my son-in-law who is coming from the from the kingly kingship. So he may he would have done something when I'm not there. He would have told the Lord something, and because of which the Lord is now wants to take the offerings from the royal king. So then the Shabara gets very angry, and he goes back and he ties the Vidyapati, and he says that you are not going to go anywhere. He's afraid that he may go to the king, and he will bring the king back here. So, but with the request of the daughter, by after begging a lot to his wife, the wife will open the clutches of the husband Vidyapati, and Vidyapati goes to bring the king to this place. So when the Vidyapati goes back to the king, he explains what all he had seen. Just by hearing again, the king could not wait even for a moment. He immediately tells that all of us, let us go to that place where this Nilachal is there, and then we will go there, and we will actually go with the whole entire kingdom. So the whole kingdom starts going towards the Nilachal. So as soon as they enter into this Purushotam Kshetra, which is also called as Ekambravan, it's just before Purushotam Kshetra is called Ekambravan, which is actually Bhubaneswar. There's one more story, a small story here, where at one point of time, a demon was um, fighting with the Lord Vishnu. So when there was a fierce battle that was happening, the Lord Shiva comes and he fights on behalf of the demon. And there will be a very big, fierce fight that happens between Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. And finally, Lord Vishnu wins over Lord Shiva. So when the Lord Shiva, um, I mean, when he, when he is defeated, he actually falls at the feet of Lord Vishnu, and he asks for forgiveness for giving sight to the to this demon. So and for fighting against Lord Vishnu. So the Lord Vishnu, he will forgive him, and then Lord Shiva says that I want to stay in this place, and want to do meditation on you. So that's a place that that Bhuvaneshwar is a place of Lord Shiva where he resides over there personally, meditating on Lord Vishnu. So that is also called as Ekambravan. So actually, the whole entourage, the Indradumna and the whole entourage, his kingdom, all the people, all his entourage reaches, when he reaches the Ekambravan, although the whole kingdom, whole universe belongs to this the king Indradumna, there's a king by name, there's uh, I'm not able to recall his name now, but there's one king, the Orissa king, who welcomes, like, when he sees this king Indradumna is going to come, so he welcomes him, and then and he's been narrated. Vidyapati tells to the king that, like this, there's a place called Nilachal close to your place, close to the place where you are, you are ruling, and there there's this tribal community called Shabara, and they are taking care of the Lord Nilmadhav. So they say that, the Lord is residing over there. We are going there to take darshan of the Lord. So the Lord, this king of Orissa also accompanies King Indradumna, and all of them, they go there. So while going itself, they encounter a lot of bad omens. It's not auspicious. While when Vidyapati was going in the at first time, like when he was when he went in search of this place. So while he was going in his journey, all throughout his journey, he always sees a good signs, good omen. But at this point of time, now he doesn't see any good omens. So all bad omens are there. So finally, they reach to this place, and when they reach the place, Nilachal mountain, um, uh, there is they see um, they see that the whole place is being devastated, and uh, there is no Nil Madhav at all. The Nil Madhav is not there. There's no deities, nothing. The whole place is devastated situation. So then the king thinks that, being very overly attached to the Nil Madhav, maybe the Shabara Vishwavasu might have, he only would have disappeared he had stolen the deities of this Nilamada, and he kept somewhere else. So he orders Vishwavasu to bring the Vishwavasu and put him in jail. So when he comes, Vishwavasu comes. Vishwavasu narrates. Sorry. So Vishwavasu narrates that actually, as soon as the Vidyapati left, the severe catastrophe that happens, that comes in that area, and because of that, the whole Nilachal mountain becomes, uh, uh, it is all devastated, and then the Lord Nilamadhav becomes unmanifested. So he becomes disappeared. So when he says this, actually the king does not believe, and he thinks that, he's telling lies and he needs to be punished. So he Vishwavasu, like the king Indradumna, declares the, sentence of death sentence for Vishwavasu. So at that point of time, uh, Narada Muni appears, and then that Narada Muni, being a Trikala Netra also, he also knows everything. So Narada Muni tells to King Indradumna not to be, uh, you know, not to be overwhelmed with grief. He tells that because of the pure intentions to serve the Lord, because of his purity, because of his pure devotional service, actually the Lord is very impressed, and he will manifest soon. And Narada Muni tells that, whatever Shabara is telling, the Vishwavasu is narrating the story is true. But the king Indradumna should not be dismayed, should not become dismayed by this news. The Lord will appear again, he will manifest again after performing 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. So he's been asked to perform Ashwamedha Yajnas. There itself, from Avanti place, like they come to this place to for this Nilachal Dham, and there itself the king Indradyumna built his own empire, and then after some time he starts this Divya Yajna of Ashwamedha Yajna. So, and then after every Yajna, the king could see auspicious things that are happening in the nature. The whole Shanka Kshetra becomes filled with the transcendental. Slowly, they everything becomes manifested, and it starts filling with the fragrance. At that point of time, just before the last day of the day of the yajna, Ashwamedha Yajna, 100 days of 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas, the last day of the yajna, the king Indradyumna gets a dream. In his dream, the Lord comes himself, and he says that he could see the Lord sleeping on a Anantashesh, the bed of Anantashesh, and he sees the Lord darshan, and he feels that, oh, he got the darshan of the Lord, and he becomes very happy. And next day morning, he narrates this story narrates about his dream to the Narada Muni. So the Narada Muni says that it is actually a sign that he is about to complete his 100 Yashwamedha Yajnas successfully. Then during that time, what happens, like, when the last day of Yajna is about to happen, some people, like the whole area is filled with fragrance, and they were not able to understand, what is this, from where is this fragrance is coming from. So actually, they could see something effulgence is, they could see some effulgent object in the middle of the ocean. So they just go, they all living, and all the praja, all the citizens go there, and then they go near the shores of the ocean, and they see that something, a big brilliantly effulgent log, a big log of wood is floating over there. So they come, and they come running to the king, and they share this news to the king. So the king first finishes, he completes the last yajna also, and after that he goes to the shores of the ocean, and he also witnesses that brilliantly effulgent log of wood. Then the Lord says that the Lord orders his uh, like prime minister to arrange for the log to bring it to the shore. So then his soldiers, with the help of so many soldiers and all, so they bring the log to the shore. So once the log comes to the shore, it is kept on one of, I mean, they build one big stage for that, for the log of wood. So it is kept on that stage, and they observe that there are various marks of Vishnu on that log. And then uh, the king will start thinking, the log of wood is there. What is to be done? What is this indication all about? Okay, so he starts thinking about all this. Are you all with me? I'm just narrating the story. But are
Yes,
you?
yes, yes.
Okay,
Yes, Mataji.
and you're
Yes,
all able
Mataji,
to.
we are
Yes,
hearing.
Mataji.
Okay, and you're all able to follow also, right?
Yeah, Mataji, we are so engrossed.
Okay.
We are also near the log, Mataji. Sure.
Yeah, so true.
Okay,
Hare
We can
okay.
Krishna.
visualize, Mataji. As you explained, we can visualize the whole thing.
Yeah, okay, very nice. Okay, so now the Lord is no, sorry, the king is not able to understand, what do we do with this log of wood? And then the fragrance, a lot of fragrance is emanating from that wood. So he's unable to understand. Then he sits there and he starts meditating. Then Narada Muni comes over there, and he says, Narada Muni comes, and then he says that now, from this log of wood, we need to carve the lordships, deities of the lordships. So then again, they do not know who is so expert in chiseling the log, the wood. So the king calls many chisels, from his kingdom, and then everyone comes, but nobody could able to even nail nail on the log of wood. So he becomes again completely morose. He starts crying. Oh, I want to do something for the pleasure of the Lord, but the Lord is not allowing me to do. Again, there is one more obstacle for his, to see the Lord face to face. So then, actually, a very old man, who is none other than Vishwakarma. He comes over there by the will of the Lord. He comes there and he says that I will carve the deities of the Lord. Uh, then he shows, how he could chisel the log of wood. So then the king Indradumna gets, he becomes convinced that, it is possible with this old man. But the old man has a condition. He says that, no, I'm going to do it in seclusion. It has to be covered. I have to be kept in a room, and for 3 weeks, nobody should disturb me. If anyone comes and disturbs or opens the door, then I will leave the carving in between, and I will leave. I will leave the place. I will not be there. So this was the condition. So then the king agrees to this condition, and the Vishwakarma starts carving the deities of the Lord. So every day the king becomes very eager. They supply the water and food, from the from the door, under the door, and then every day the Lord comes and he keeps hearing the chisel sound. So he keeps he understands that, oh, okay, the Lord is getting shaped, carved by this old man. So he's been waiting. This carpenter will finish his work, and then he can take the darshan of the Lord. So as the days pass, after 2 weeks, there is no sound heard from inside. So actually, the food which is being given to the Vishwakarma is actually been cooked by Gundicha Devi only. The king's wife personally cooks every day for that, for Vishwakarma, and she gives the prasad. So, but what happens, like, they will not hear the sound, and they will not see the prasad is also not being consumed by the old man inside. So it is just lying over there only. So they did not know what is happening. So some few days passes. The anxiety for the king is increased. They keep thinking that he's such an old man. Maybe something has happened to him because of his old age. Had he passed away, or any snake bite has happened? What has happened inside the room? They are not aware, and they are very worried because they were speculating. So at one point of time, the King Indrazumna could not wait. He actually opens the door. So as soon as he opens the door, he doesn't see the old man over there. Vishwakarma is disappeared. There's only chisel and stuff, whatever the things required to carve are there. And the Lord, he sees the beautiful face of the Lord, Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadramai, Sudarshan, but it is in uh, half carved, uh, unfinished state. So the deities are not fully carved. So the hands are there, but there are no legs. Hands also means only the arms are there. There are no hands. There are no fingers. So King Indrazumna becomes very overwhelmingly grieved again. So he actually he will fell unconscious over there, seeing seeing what he has done. Like, the deities are only half done, half carved, and it is all because of me. If I would not have opened it, then maybe deities would have been fully carved. So he becomes very morose, and he becomes unconscious. At that time, again, Narada Muni comes to rescue him, and he actually tells this impatient king that You don't worry, like whatever the form of the Lord you are seeing, this is what is being expected. And this is the same form of the Lord I have observed. I have taken darshan of this Lord in Dwaraka so many years during the Dwapar Yuga. He talks about that pastime that has happened in Dwapar Yuga in Dwaraka. So he tells that this is the same form of the Lord. So now we have to go to what Narada Muni is narrating about this form of the Lord. Actually, this form of the Lord is the ultimate pinnacle of the spiritual ecstasy that Lord Krishna can experience in his Mahabhav state. This is the Mahabhav state of Krishna. So whenever you see whoever is going to Lord Jagannath, Jagannath Puri Dham, whenever you see Lord Jagannath there or anywhere in our temples, um, Jagannath is not different from Krishna. So but the form of the Lord which we see in as Jagannath is actually Mahabhav of Krishna. That how he manifested that Mahabhav, how Krishna has manifested this Mahabhav, that's what Narada Muni starts narrating the story. I hope, I was told to give the class till 1:30. So it's okay, right? I narrate this story.
Okay, Mataji.
Yes,
Mataji.
Mataji.
Okay. So, so the story continues like this. Once you all know, like I will not tell very much in deep, but you already know this story, but still, um, just to narrate the pastime, I'm going to explain this. That Krishna has performed all his Bal Leela in Vrindavan. All his Bal Leela happened in Vrindavan from the after only when he is born in Mathura. The same day he's been taken to Vrindavan, and then he is Gokul. He was in Gokul, and from there he's been moved to Vrindavan. And so only two people who have witnessed the Bal Leela of Krishna. Who are they?
Sudhamaya.
Rohini
Rohini
and
Mata.
yes, Rohini Devi and Yashoda Mata. Only these two have seen, and none of the other people have never. They did not even hear. But actually, even the 16,108 wives who were married to Krishna, they always hear Lord Krishna in his dreams calling out the names of the gopis, and dreaming about his childhood pastimes and all that. So they wanted to know. Even Devaki has never heard what Krishna has done, what his pastimes, how he played in the pasture ground in the courtyard of Nanda Bhavan, and with the gopis and gopas, all those pastimes they have never heard about Krishna, so they wanted to hear. So they come to all the queens of Dwaraka. They develop this desire, and even Devaki Mata wants to hear this story from this Rohini Mata. So this Rohini Devi then, but she tells Rohini Devi, I am ready to share these pastimes. But the problem is, as soon as Krishna hears these pastimes, he will get the remembrance of Vrindavan. He will leave Dwaraka and he will go back to Vrindavan. Then after that, you don't blame me that, because of me, Lord Krishna went there, and once he goes there, he will never come back. So they were all in fear, but still they want to hear. So then Rukmini Devi says that, okay, we will keep Subhadra Mai as, we will keep her outside, and she will guard if Krishna and Balram, when they come, then she will let us know that, that they are coming, and we will stop the pastimes. And then we will go to our respective palaces, and even Krishna and Balram will not come to know about it. So we secretly will do this activity. So one day they decide to, all of them, they assemble at one place. They give an asan to Rohini Devi. She sits on an asan, and Subhadra Devi will be asked to stand outside of that room, that hall, and she will be guarding outside. So as Rohini Mata, she starts describing the pastimes of Lord Krishna, the childhood pastimes. even like everyone goes into the trance. Everyone will be hearing the pastimes of the Lord very raptly with attention. And even Subhadra Mai standing outside, she also wants to hear the pastimes, because she also never saw the pastimes of Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna. So she also puts one ear to the door, and she starts hearing the pastimes. When she is hearing the pastimes, she also goes into the trance of spiritual ecstasies. So she's going deep, and suddenly uh, Krishna and Balaram passes by, and then Subhadra Mai is unaware of the presence of Krishna and Balaram. She does not know, and I don't know, the Krishna and Balaram would be thinking, what is happening to Subhadra Devi, and what is she hearing, and how could she is taking such spiritual ecstasies? What is happening? Those they also would like to hear. So they also starts peeping into the door and starts hearing their own pastimes. So as they are hearing their own pastimes, they go deeper into their Mahabhav level. Actually, Subhadra Devi is completely in Mahabhav stage, and the Lord is also starts to, all his limbs were going within his body. Everything is getting shrink. The legs were going inside. Everything was shrinking. And at that point of time, Narada Muni is passing by. Mhm. As he was passing by, he saw this form of the Lord, Krishna, Subhadramai, and Balaram ji standing there in such a spiritual ecstasy in their Mahabhav form, and seeing that Mahabhav form, he gets into the spiritual ecstasy, and he does not hear the story that is happening inside, but actually by seeing this itself, like all the he could able to experience the full love, the love of Godhead is fully ripened within his heart, and it starts erupting, and he starts shivering, and he is also going through different symptoms of ecstasies, spiritual ecstasies. And then he thinks that, okay, the pure devotees of the Lord, they are like that, and they don't want anything for themselves. So he also wants this darshan to be, uh, given to the normal conditioned souls also. So he touches the body of Lord Krishna. As soon as Narada Muni touches the body of Lord Krishna comes to his original form. So all three of them will come to their original form. And then, Narada Muni, he offers his obeisances, he offers prayers to Lord Krishna, and he says that, this is such a nice form that you have exhibited, which I have never seen in my whole lifetime. This kind of darshan I have never taken. So he asked for a boon from the Lord Krishna that, you have to give this darshan to whole world, to all the living entities. That's why he's called Jagannath. He is a Nath of the whole, he's a Lord of the whole universe. So he wanted this darshan for all the living entities in the entire universe. So Krishna says, Tathastu. Hmm. That's how he says that, this is the same form of the Lord which I have seen, and now he has come, he has manifested himself in the form of this wooden form, and now we just have to install these deities. So Narada Muni says, let me go back. It is said that, actually these has to be installed by the Brahma himself. So I will go back to Brahma Loka, and I'll bring Lord Brahma for the installation. You make all arrangements. So King Indradumna request Narada Muni that he also would like to accompany Narada Muni to Brahma Loka to invite Lord Brahma for the installation of these deities. So what happens is, before Narada Muni takes Indradumna Maharaj to Brahmaloka. The Indradumna Maharaj, when the deities are installed, they should have a place to, place for worship, right? So he builds a very big Jagannath Mandir, the one which you see now in Nilachal Kshetra, Purushottam Kshetra, Jagannath Mandir. That is the mandir that which is being built by our King Indradumna Maharaj. So he builds that temple, and after building the temple, he says, okay, for installation, let us go and request Lord Brahma to come for installation. He goes, and then he goes along with the Narada Muni. So because of the association with the pure devotee like Narada Muni, even though King Raja Indradyumna is a normal mortal living entity. I don't know, somebody is making noise. Okay, so even though they are normal living entities, he is a normal living entity, King Indradyumna. He actually could able to see, they have to pass through different lokas, right? Like from he goes, if he has to go to the Brahma Loka, he has to pass through from Bhuloka, he has to pass through Bhuvar Loka, Swargaloka, Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, and then comes that Satyaloka, after that Tapaloka. So the Satyaloka is the place where Lord Brahma resides. So when they go there, the attendants of the guards of the Brahma, that Brahmadev, they inform that actually Brahmadev is doing worship to the Lord Vishnu, and it will take few moments for him to finish the worship. So Narada Muni and King Indradyumna, they wait, they will wait there for few moments to complete, and after that Lord Brahma comes. And when he comes there, King Indradyumna will request Lord Brahma to come and install the deities. And Lord Brahma also tells that, yes, this is expected. Lakshmi Devi has already narrated to me that the deities will be, you will make the deities, and through you, the Lord will manifest in this universe. The Lord Neel Madhav, who disappears, will manifest in this universe in the form of Jagannath, Baldev, and Subhadramai. And so he agrees to come for the installation. So now, by the time they come back to this material world from the Indraloka, from the Brahma Loka to this Indraloka. What happens is, like, actually what Brahma says is, the first 50 years of a Brahmadev, he is supposed to worship Neel Madhav. Okay, and then after that, after the 51st year, by the will of the Lord, Neelamada will become unmanifest, and he becomes Lord Jagannath. So Brahmadev will worship the Lord Jagannath. So now what happens? Some minutes have been passed, right, in Brahmaloka, and there's some time lag happens from further travel from Bhuloka to even to Satyaloka. So during this time, many yugas will pass. many lives will pass through. Years will pass in this on the surface of the earth. So when they come back, now the Raja Gala by name, Raja by name Gala, he will be ruling this kingdom. Then the king will come at the place where this uh, the temple was built, and they see that the temple is already, whatever is being built, half of the temple is already submerged into the ground, into the earth. It's already under the earth. Only half is remaining on the earth. So in that half itself, the King Indradyumna will tell that, they found the Lord Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadramaya deities, which were like, lying for so many years in that place. They found those deities, and they by then this Raja Gala will come to know that, some people have come to his kingdom, and they are doing some installation of this lordships. So then he thinks that, they are from some other country, some other kings. They are invading his kingdom. So when he goes there, then there are two things. The scriptures say two versions of it. One is like one scripture says that Narada Muni narrates to Raja Gala what has happened, and then Raja Gala also assist King Indradyumna in the installation of the deities. And another version says there is one person called Kakabhushandi. This Kakabhushandi, he narrates the whole pastime of what has happened. Because he is also one of the it was not that it was not that Markandeya Rishi, who is a Chiranjeevi. Markandeya Rishi only asked for 7 kalpas. He wanted to live only for 7 kalpas. But Kakabhushandi is also one of the Chiranjeevis, just like Ashwadhama and Hanuman. So this Kakabhushandi, he tells that I have been there in that at that point of time, and I have seen these are the deities which is being carved by Indradyumna, and he has gone to invite the Lord Brahma, and by then so many years have passed here. So then then all of them come together, and they now wants to install the deities. So that night when the king sleeps, in the dream of the king, the Lord Jagannath comes. So, and he tells that the Lord Jagannath tells, before you install me in front of everyone, you have to first bathe me with the water. So you do an abhishek on me with the water, and then after that you do the installation. So what happens is this happens um, on the Jeshta month, on the day of Purnima day, on the day of Purnima in the Jeshta month, according to the will of the Lord, Narada Muni will tell, King Indradyumna will reveal this dream to the Narada Muni, and Narada Muni will arrange for thousands of holy teeth waters, Kumbha waters. And from morning, see, actually, the Lord Abhishek starts from the morning and it goes till the evening. Okay, so that's how the Lord's Snana Yatra started. Okay, so all of you would be thinking that how is that this Lord takes bath. This is the Lord himself tells Indradyumna Maharaj to give him a bath, and then the installation takes place. After that, slowly the king also disappears, and everyone disappears. And then it is said that there was one viceroy king during British time, and he also comes to know that half of the temple is being immersed inside the earth, and he wants to dig it, but when he tried to do it, then he couldn't do it, and he faced a lot of difficulties and all that, and then he stopped doing all that. Then what happens is after we all know that like when the Lord is taken a bath in the cold waters like that, the Lord falls sick. The Lord gets cold and he gets high fever. So one should not think that these are just the pastimes, stories or some mere stories, mere pastimes that the Shastras are telling. What do you think that Lord even today he will he actually take bath? I mean, like, will he get fever? No, these are not stories. It's actually, if you have a faith, with the faith, if you approach the Lord, you can know this. Actually, there's one Prabhuji is there in our ISKCON community. So he is connected with all the sampradayas, all the 4 sampradayas. So what happens is there is a vidhi that 1 year before the Jeshta month, 1 year before this Snana Yatra takes place, from 1 year before itself, um, uh, um, there's a sandal oil. The 100 liters of sandal oil is collected from the pure sandalwood trees. Okay, so and it is kept under under a ground, under the earth for 1 year. It is kept, this oil, sandalwood is kept under the earth for 1 year. It is being kept. So when the Lord falls sick, right, during that time, you all know that when we all fall sick, do we actually uh, eat anything? No, right? We don't like to eat some very fancy food. Otherwise, the Lord eats very grandeur 64 chappan bhog every day. But during this time, he doesn't eat anything. He is being given sada bhojan and then some jadi butiya, some kada, like that only. All herbs made out of herbs, some kashaya and all is being given to him. So uh, to make his body, how he comes out of the fever. So he's been bathed for 15 days. The Lord gets fever, and he's been bathed with this oil, with this sandalwood oil for hours together. Hmm? Inside the Jagannath Mandir, he's been bathed, and then the oil that falls from the body of the Lordship, that is being accumulated as Mahaprasad. It has been collected by all the priests of Jagannath Mandir, and they distribute to the people later on. So for 8 days, once that is done, once this ritual is done for 8 days, for 8 days, for about 8 days, from the body of the priest, this fragrant smell will emanate for 8 days. And then this continues, then Jyeshtha Amavasya will come. Before that, I was telling about that Prabhuji who is connected with the ISKCON. So that Prabhu, once he also felt like, does really Lord Jagannath gets fever? So he has a very close relationship with all the pandas in Jagannath Puri. So during the Anavasar time, this is a period where when the Lord falls sick, that is called as Anavasar. So there won't be any darshan. The Lord does not give. See, when we are sick, do we go out and see people? No, right? If someone comes to see us also, we will be so sick. We want to just lie down and we want to take rest, right? So the Lord is also taking rest. So there's no darshan of the deities during this time, during this anavasar time. So what happens? The Lord actually going through these rituals where he's been given sada food like some herbs, some medicines, and all these things. So at this point of time, then this ISKCON person also, he went there, and then they were all offering kada to the Lord and all that. So when the priests were not around, he thought he just wanted to see whether the Lord is really having a fever. So he just goes and he touched the body of the Lord Jagannath, and he was burnt. His finger got burnt. So much high fever. So it is not one should not think that it is just a story. No, it is real truth. It is real truth. Lord Jagannath gets sick and he gets fever. And he, after 15 days, once the fever is gone, the Lord Jagannath starts feeling hungry. And after being there in a closed rooms for 15 days, don't we feel like going and roaming outside? We also want to say, if you're put in a room for 15 days, you want a breathing place. You want to see outside what is happening. You want to see the place. You want to see the people, right? So that's how the Lord Jagannath also wants to go out, and then he wants to see the place, see the devotees, see his devotees. He wants to meet his devotees. That's how he goes out for Rath Yatra. He tells the priest that arrange for a rath for me so that I will go out in a rath and I will roam around along with Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, along with his siblings, Subhadramai and Balaram. So that's how the Lord comes out to give his darshan on the day of Rath Yatra from Jagannath Mandir, and he goes to the Gundicha. Gundicha Mandir is called as Gupta Vrindavan. So he goes to Gundicha. Before the day of Rath Yatra, Jagannath will become completely all right with no fever, nothing. And they make plans to make him go out and roam. And he's so eager, thinking that tomorrow I'm going to go and see the Lord, see all my devotees, and I'm going to go around and go to Vrindavan. So in that ecstasy, the Lord is actually sitting always on the Vedi, on a platform. He comes down from the Vedi, from that platform to down one day before itself. So, so that's how that darshan, like when he comes down from the Vedi, that and he gets beautifully decorated that day after he becomes completely all right. Very, very beautiful darshan it is. He is beautifully decorated, and that ceremony is called Netrotsav. And earlier, many years before, just before the COVID also, they used to allow one day before the darshan of the deities, this Netrotsav deities, darshan, and whole night the Lord will not sleep at all. So just like a small babies, when they are going to excursion or exhibition or some place outside, whole night they will not sleep. Oh, when the day is coming, when it has become already it became morning, they'll be very excited, right? Like that, the Lord is very excited, and it is true, the Lord excitement is really true. We have to understand the emotions. We should have, I mean, because we don't have the spiritual emotions, we cannot understand the spiritual emotions of the Lord. But we have to have faith in those emotions. And the Lord is really into those emotions, that, he is going out, he doesn't sleep at all whole night. And actually, he actually allows the people to hug him. And it was allowed till before COVID, actually. Even we got a chance to hug the Lord. We used to go and take darshan of the Lord. Of course, so many people, because of the separation from the Lord for 15 days, the devotees, so many devotees, pilgrims would come to see, take darshan of the Lord. And in the night, overnight, we used to take the darshan of the Lord. And then the priest will give a coconut water. And in the coconut water, they will add a kapoor and they will give. And the Lord will uh, take that. It is like a bhang, and he will be in full ecstasy. Jhum jhum ke naachte rehte hai Bhagwan. It was like that. So he is in still full nasha. This is called pei. And this is called, this induces him a nasha within the body of the Lord, by which his eagerness increases to go out next day to see the darshan of the Lord. So that's how this Ratha Yatra happens. And one last thing which I want to end with. So for this Ratha Yatra, how our ISKCON is contributing. So during British time itself, I don't know who has taken, but it was told that we have acquired uh, some of the forests of Bhubaneswar. Some of the forest we have, it is acquired by, huge land has been acquired by ISKCON Bhubaneswar. It is now under ISKCON Bhubaneswar. Earlier acquired by whom I do not know. And there is a wood by name Fussy. There are trees, fussy trees, by which those trees will have a wood which is called a fussy wood. And with that wood, they grow these trees in thousands and thousands of numbers. They grow these trees, and on the day of Akshay Tritiya, 600 trees were cut. This fussy trees were cut for building the Jagannath Baldev Subhadramai chariots. So this, the chariot building, and that wood, that logs of wood, the chariot is built for Jagannath Baldev and Subhadramai in Jagannath Puri, the main Ratha Yatra festival that happens, that has been sponsored by our ISKCON Bhubaneswar. Okay, and this Ratha, making the Ratha will start on Akshay Tritiya and it ends on Ashad Dvitiya day. Okay, just one day before the Rath Yatra. So this is a story. Till here we have seen, how the Lord is ready to go out to see the darshan of to take the darshan of his devotees, and he's eager to go out and roam along with his siblings in this kshetra called Jagannath Puri Kshetra, from from Jagannath Mandir to Gundicha temple. So I end the class here. Anybody? Oh, Mataji. Yeah, Meera Mataji. Yeah, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Jagannath, thank you so much. Very, very wonderful narration of the Lord's pastimes. Mataji, can you just also explain about how we worship Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Maiya at home, right? As we have deities at home. We worship normally, right? Because they are our lords. We have to offer them daily, and we don't offer herbs or anything like that. That's one question. Secondly, Mataji, how do we worship Sudarshanji also along with Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Maiya? So if you can also share that, how does Sudarshan also come into that trio and make it four? Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadra Maiya, and Sudarshanji. And third thing is Kaka Bhushandi, you mentioned, Namadaji. I have not heard about that past time. Can you just elaborate a little bit more on that? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Jagannath Pranam.
I don't know much about Kakapuchani Mataji. Actually, this is what I have heard from Vishwarup Prabhu. So whatever I have heard, I have shared. Maybe we can ask Prabhuji for more details. But I have heard Kakapuchani only maybe in this context. I'm not sure. And coming to the Sudarshan ji, he's also part of Lord Jagannath Baldev Subhadra. Actually, Sudarshan is the protector. He's there to protect Subhadra Mai as a sister. Like when she goes out, so she has to be given protection. So Sudarshan is always there along with when the Lord comes onto the chariot also. When the Subhadramai is being taken in the chariot of Subhadramai, Sudarshan is being kept as a guardian for Subhadramai. And coming to the deities being taken care during Anavasar state time, right? Like in the home deities you are talking about. Like Prabhupada did not mention any rules for us. But in Jagannath Puri, what they do, I'll tell. But for us, none of our spiritual masters nor even Prabhupada did not mention anything that needs to be done. Anavasar has to be followed in our houses. For the home deities, I'm not sure. I have not heard anything like that. But in the Jagannath Puri, all the Puri, the Vrajavasis of the Puri, they all follow because the Lord is eating the sada food. They also don't eat opulent food. And all of the deities in Jagannath Puri, in their houses, are also goes into Anavasar state, and they also offer these medicinal herbs and all that in their houses. That I've heard. And also like actually when you when these Jagannath pandas, when they come to know that, when they know that our deities are still being dressed opulently and are being worshipped and are being given food, they don't like it. Actually, one of the pandas have come to our house, visited my house when during this Anavasar time, and he was not at all appreciative of the deities being offered prasad, bhog and all that. Not prasad, sorry. So bhog and all that during this Anavasar time. And one more experience I have is like if you want to paint the deities, actually after this 15 days and when the Lord is coming out, the Lord is again paint. He's been well decorated. So he's been painted nicely. Because of that sandalwood oil and all that, his painting is gone, so he becomes pale with the fever also. So he's been painted freshly. So this is the time that usually if you want your deities to be painted in Jagannath Puri, only during this time that they will paint and give you your deities, your home deities. If you want to paint it from the pandas of Jagannath Mandir, then in Jagannath Puri, they will only paint during this Anavasar time, during these 15 days time, because the bhog is not given to the Lord. They will paint it. If you go and give any other time, they will not accept. They will not paint the deities. This is what I know, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Very wonderful. Very nice to hear the pastimes of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. If you tell, it will be more and more, very more, what do you call, like,
Not at all, Mataji.
very nice to hear.
I mean,
Because
it was,
no, your way, I have
better.
heard your versions and your way of describing the pastimes. It is more relishable.
Mataji, what I've heard from devotees like you only, I repeat also, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Jagannath Pranam.
Mataji, Hare Krishna, we were in
Hare Krishna.
ecstasy. Just listening, we didn't know the time also flying.
Mataji, wonderful reciting of the stories. I was actually visualizing all the stories. Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much to all of you for your
Hare Krishna
patient
Mataji,
hearing.
thank you so much for the
Thank you,
wonderful
Mataji,
nectar of
for
Hare
taking
Jagannath.
time to tell us all this
Thank
very
you.
nice.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Dandavat
Thank
pranam.
you, Mataji.
Dandavats pranam, Prabhu.
Dandavat pranam.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
All chant one time for Mataji, Mantra mantra and Hare Krishna mantra, thanking Kumari Deya Mataji. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare Rama,
Rama
Hare Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Ram.
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Hare
Rama,
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare Rama, Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Rama
Kumari Deya
Hare.
Mataji ki
Jai.
Jai.
All
Jagannath
glories to
Jai.
Srila
Bhagwan
Prabhupada.
ki Jai.
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 Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Hare
Jai.
Krishna.
Anantakoti Vaishnavi ki
Thank you
Jai.
so much, Mataji.
Jai.
Jai.
Hare
Nataki
Krishna,
Nataki
Hare
Vishnu
Krishna.
Thank you,
Vasana
Mataji.
Vecham
Hare
Patana
Krishna.
Pavani
Hare
Vaishnavi.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji, Dandavat
Hare
pranam.
Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Tomorrow same
Dandavat
time,
pranams
Mataji.
Mataji.